Hi there, I'm Dexter and I'm trying to beat every single Gamecube game PAL region. Why? Because I'm just sad. Game number 3, Bloody Roar Primal Fury. I never owned this game as a kid, but I had a friend of mine who used to bring it over when we were kids, so I have brief memories of me playing it. I remember he used to play as a mole. That's a weird sentence. And I remember it being pretty cool, and it's just a fighting game with weird animal people. A literal furry fighting game. Anyway, this game came out on November 18th, 2003 in PAL region. We are greeted with an anime cutscene, which really sets the mood and the tone of the game, I feel. The only thing I thought was kind of weird about the opening cutscene is that it doesn't really showcase a lot of the animals. It just kind of shows the characters, but it's the kind of beast form, right, that you're interested in, so I thought that was a bit odd that they only showed that at the end. Anyway, seeing as this is a fighting game and I've never played it before, I figured I'd beat story mode or, some sort of arcade mode, but it didn't have a story mode, unfortunately. It had arcade versus time attack, survival, team battle versus team battle, training options. So wasn't really sure what to pick, and I guess arcade is the closest thing to story mode, so I guess we'll try and beat that. I did start off with some training first to get a feel for it, and off the bat I remembered the character selection music. I got a little rush of nostalgia, to be honest. But yeah, the character selection screen music is awesome. There's quite a lot of characters too, to be honest. I accidentally chose Uriko the half-beast, and I pressed B to go back and change character, but instead it made me go all the way back to the menu, so that was kind of confusing. But the character variety was really cool, and there's a lot of animals. There were quite a few tigers and cats, though, I didn't notice. And also, I saw the mole! I told you my friend played as a mole! Looking back at my footage, I can't see a dog, though, which I think is really odd. You would think the one animal that I have would be a dog, right? But no, instead they've got a mole! Anyway, I chose Alice the rabbit because I have pet rabbits, and I just love rabbits. So yeah, I chose Alice the bunny, or rabbit. Same thing. Anyway, chose a random stage, and I learned how to play the game, essentially, which, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty simple. I kind of got the gist of it, it's kick punch and usual things, and I realized that pretty early on, changing to your beast form makes you pretty OP, really strong. There's not really much point staying human, just like in real life. But it was pretty funny to watch this big bunny just wrecking this lady. Well, I got the hang of it pretty quickly, so I thought let's just dive into the arcade mode, which actually did play a cutscene with a bunch of text explaining the world and what's going on, and my god, do a shot whenever it says Zeanthrope. Zeanthrope. I read this whole thing for the stream, and then we moved on. So with that context, we're against the first enemy. Anyway, I started wrecking Zion, who turns into a Yoshimitsu. When I play fighting games, my kind of style is to jump around a lot and use aerial attacks or go low. This game didn't have many aerial attacks, kind of like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, so I did aim low quite a bit. I like how you can move around your opponent though, kind of like how Soul Calibur is. And it is fun when you turn into beast mode because you're so much stronger. Plus, if you wait for your meter to go all the way to the top, then you can cause even more damage. There were two moves that I found really useful as Alice. It was this down kick where she went but, and this one where she kind of jumped back and did a slide into the opponent. I also kept forgetting to block, and to be honest, I forgot it was even a thing for this first round for the most part. But with a bit of luck, spamming a few buttons and a half strategy, I suppose, I managed to wreck Zion/Yoshimitsu pretty easily. My next fight was against Hugo, who was a werewolf, and this wasn't that hard. And again, I pretty much wrecked his legs with my down kick as per usual. I think my biggest issue with this game, and as somebody who has no nostalgia for it, of course, it just feels very basic, and I know it came out a long time ago, but there wasn't really a lot to it apart from changing to beast mode, which didn't really change the gameplay at all. I mean, most of the moves were basically identical. There's a couple of special moves that you could do, but it didn't actually change the gameplay that drastically. This is also the only Bloody Roar game I've ever played, so I don't know if there's some deep lore to this, or if the other games have a proper story mode. I have no idea. This fight here was so close and I was about to die, but hey, I came out on top and I defeated Hugo. I don't know how I pulled this move off against my next opponent, but it looked awesome. It felt really good. I think picking the rabbit was definitely a good choice for me. The grab was also awesome as well. I love how you kick them right in the neck. So there are some satisfying moves for sure. I was wrecking this tiger guy, but for some reason he just came back and absolutely annihilated me out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what he did, but the game just decided to go full-on ultra mode and wreck me. But then I went hyper mode with the rabbit and he just had no chance. That hyper mode, honestly, is unreal. Look how much damage I just did looking at his footage back. That is unreal. Next guy is a lion, and On paper, I guess the lion should definitely win, but hey, you can't beat the bunnies. He did actually beat me on round 2, so it was getting slightly harder than before. It was a close match, but ultimately I came out on top again. Next was some underwater Aquaman-looking level, which looked great. I loved it. Definitely the best level so far. Then we started fighting this child who wore clothes that were a bit too long for her. But actually, she's a weird half-beast actual furry, and then they fit her just fine. But yeah, she was no match for my buddy powers, so I defeated the furry with ease, with my down kick as per usual. Next fight was in the city against this weird beetle guy. He was really slow but huge. He was a really cool opponent, and I kind of felt like I had to change my strategy up a little bit. But again, just using my kicks a lot and aiming low, it always tends to work. He did do this weird special move grab out of nowhere though that absolutely annihilated me. So that was a bit of a game changer. It was a close fight, but I managed to clutch it at the end. The next fight was this old dude who turns into an elephant, so another massive opponent. Really cool design though, I love this character, but he hits like a truck though, and he absolutely rinsed me with this special move. And he also aimed low and killed me. I did manage to make a good comeback though, so that was it, 1-1. He used his special again, and it did about 80% of my health or something. It did so much damage. So yeah, I got annihilated. But I came back again, I pulled out all the stops, and I just about beat him on the first round. It was so close. But round 2, I completely destroyed him with my Hyper Beast mode, so it goes to show that is so OP. Then it was the next fight, and it was against Ling, who was also another tiger again. But after being good against Ganesha, I don't know, I guess I got the skills and I destroyed Ling pretty easily, to be honest. So it's time for the next fight. Except there was a cutscene. Ooh. I get told my performance was good. They looked really happy to see me. I slapped this guy in the face for some reason. I didn't know why. And then they get annoyed at each other. She gets petted like an actual rabbit. Turns around and then the credits roll. And that's another game complete. Now, I think for most games, I'll probably go back, and maybe do it again with a different character, or try versus mode and try out some of the characters, or try survival mode. But with this one, I'm not really a big fighting game person, and I do feel that fighting games are very samey and similar, and it's one of my least favorite genres. So I just felt, look, I beat the game, I've seen it, I get the idea. That was it, the game was beaten. So I do apologize to any Bloody Raw fans who wanted me to go into a deep dive into this game, but the challenge is to beat them, and I beat it. That's another game on the list. It's pretty fun though, I do like it. It's definitely worth an afternoon playing with your friend and playing some versus, as I don't think the arcade mode was really that exciting. I would love to see Bloody Raw come back though. I do like the whole weird beast transformations, and I would like to see that again, especially if the beast transformations are, very different to the human counterparts in the next iteration. If there is a next iteration, that is. Anyway, Bloody Raw Primal Fury. Have you played it? Leave a comment what your opinions are. I'm interested. If you haven't played this, then leave a comment down below. Let me know your opinions. I'll be expecting some furry jokes. And yeah, I will see you in the next video for game number 4.